Ahoy folks, and welcome back to Broadside Gaming, me Zug. So, Jump Ship has recently dropped, and it's become very, very popular. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you are too. But I thought we would talk about a few like tips and tricks and things for, dealing with this. So, Jump Ship. Let's first take a look at the ships you get right now. So, there is the Catamaran, and there is the Dart. Straight off the bat, the Dart is incredibly fun, but I wouldn't take it into tier 4 or 5 missions. It's just a bit underwhelming for that at the moment. Also, the Dart isn't very friendly if you're going to be playing it multiplayer because it only has one gun for the secondary or third player to use. And especially early on, that one gun will be a rail cannon, which only shoots every 7 to 9 seconds, depending on how upgraded you have it. And also, it's only got one entrance in and out. Catamaran, it might be the vanilla bog standard ship, but it is much, much better for team play. And also, I think it's just a better ship in general because it's tougher, has more shields. And also, if anything goes wrong with the Dart, you kind of have to lob yourself into space and hope you can reattach underneath it. So, generally, repairing the shields during combat isn't a great idea, but on the Dart is damn near impossible. I'll show you this as we go along. But with the Catamaran, it's a much more well-rounded ship and gives you a lot more options. And instead of like jumping through cuts and things, I'm going to take you through this naturally. So we're going to do a little bit of gameplay and I'll talk you through it as we're going. So, you've just started playing. What are you going to be doing? Well, the main point of the game is to collect components to make your ship better. Biggest part to look at is reactors, because this is what's going to be, allowing you to put different things on your ship. As you can see here, split reactor, scatter, solid state, and null wave. Each has a different shape and a different amount of power generation nodes on it. The scatter reactor has the most, but it also has the biggest holes. I've mostly been using the split reactor because it's generally just the easiest one to use. I am going to explain what the different colours are on it. So if you see here, the split reactor has mostly green and 4 blue, whereas solid state is mostly blue. Blue represents nodes that are protected from outside influences, say solar storms and radiation. Radiation and solar storms can knock your components offline. So the split reactor might give you the biggest amount of power generation nodes, but it's also one of the least protected. So during those storms, you may lose things like your jump drive, your weapons, your sensors, all sorts of nasty things. So just be aware of that when you are plugging stuff in. Then you have the auxiliary generators, which are also very important. These will give you extra generation. So another bank of squares to plug things in.
Interesting.
Yes, thank you, Iris. Each component has a different amount of power plug shapes. So as you can see here, the targeting module has 2. The lance railgun has 7, and it's a very awkward shape. And each one, I'm not going to go through every single one and talk about them, but just so you can see, they're all different. Starting off, you won't have all of these, but as you go, you will have more, and you'll have to basically just take things out, put them in, and see what's going on. But don't worry. When you do get more components, and you think, oh, I'm going to plug this in and play, and then you get into your ship and realize, oh crap, they don't fit. There is a way around that, so don't panic. Because, unfortunately, the game does not show you how all of this is fitting in before you get into your ship. So what we're going to do, we are going to go start a mission. We'll go just do an easy one so I can talk and show things while we're doing it.
Walked away from any cool explosions lately.
So, we've just pressed B to be ready. We're going to jump in and take a look at the ship. Now, I'll explain some more things while we're on the ship, but this is stuff that I wish I knew before I started playing and made quite a lot of mistakes. And also, you will realise when you start playing, you don't start with any guns. Because this is a roguelite, you have to find all of your own equipment. Now, the only thing that you keep once you leave a mission is what you're carrying in this slot here. You have 3 empty slots.
Cargo ship is temporarily stopped in a sector a few jumps ahead.
You have 3 empty slots. Mine are currently filled with guns.
Once you're prepared,
When you finish a mission, goddamn it, Iris, will you shut up? When you finish a mission,
the Legion won't see us coming.
thank you, goddamn AI. When you finish a mission, make sure you are holding your guns, because once it's finished, it's over. If you leave them on the floor or you've left them somewhere, they are lost. But here's the thing not many people talk about. So when you start with nothing. But you can come over here and build an SMG so that you do have options to start off with. Okay? So a rocket launcher and an SMG. Not many people realise that you can actually build it. And the SMG is this. I quite like it. It's very good for close combat. And this is also where you can build all of your other stuff. So your weapons, this is what you can take with you. But I will mention, if you build it in here and you finish the mission with it in your inventory, it will disappear. It doesn't count as a fully, keepable gun. Then you've got your items, your med stims, utilities. You'll mostly be dealing with ship shields and small ship repair kits. Ammo is mostly dealt with Buddy. Buddy is your little robot, and if you're playing solo, he is your wingman. Now, also, when you first start, you will always start in a safe zone. So here, there is absolutely nothing. I'll show you on the map here. Empty space. So you are safe here. So you can tinker with your ship to your heart's delight. Now we're going to talk about the power grid. As you can see here, I'll just take a few bits out and show you. All of these things have different shapes and you have to basically fit them in. As you can see, I don't have many blue slots, so not everything is safe. But if you start this and you've put stuff in that doesn't fit and you think, oh crap, what do I do? Do not abandon the mission because you will lose all of your guns. What you can do is you can come back over here and you can build components here. So you just choose what you want and you can build it in the ship. So as long as you've already unlocked it, you can build it in the assembler. But whatever you do, do not abandon the game, because if you do and you have guns that you like, you will lose them. Now, a little cheeky trick you can do, you do start off with some materia. Chuck it in there and it goes into your materia pool. But there is one more thing you can do here. If you zoom in on the starter map, you will see
As close as I could get us. Lock in a destination on the jump map.
you will see a little gold thing on the map. And that is this.
Got your six, as they say.
And that's worth 30 materia. If you're playing solo, you can just hold down E and Buddy will take it in for you. Now, the catamaran, it has lots of entrance points, and every entrance point has a cargo transporter, so you do not have to enter the ship to chuck stuff in. Like, I can chuck my guns in if I need to, and that just sends it straight to the cargo bay. And then you just go in, and it's all lined up here. Now, the gnome we just found, what you can do is you can chuck it in there for more materia. There you go. Now you've got a bigger pool of materia to start all of these missions with. And as I said, the catamaran has lots of entrances and exits. One of the best things you can do, though, on the catamaran is use the ejection tubes. So instead of having to walk all the way through the ship, you have two tubes up on the bridge, there and there. You jump in, and you basically just aim yourself and fire.
Never fret, Buddy's right behind you.
And you can basically float around and do what you need. Now, there are other entrance points. There's the two down there, and there's also two up here. This is where you're going to find your materia. If you're playing multiplayer, Buddy won't pick it up for you, but if you're playing on solo, he will. So there's one on this side, and there's one on the other. So once you've collected it, it looks like blue space dust. You take it from here, put it in there, and it takes it down to the cargo bay for you. There's also ejection tubes in here as well if you need them, but the ones you're mostly going to be using are the ones on the bridge. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you know, you need to, you know, sort out your inventory, make sure you know, stick it all on the shelves, blah, blah, blah. No, if you want to, you can, but you really don't have to. I mostly just leave everything here, and unless it's an artifact, which we'll get into in a minute, artifacts go in here. They're basically roguelike buffs that will only last for this mission. So let's see, we'll go do the debris field, because we're going to be heading towards this, the galaxy map. Credits. Actually, let's talk about this while we're doing it as well. So, as you can see, there are lots of paths to get to the end. The end mission is there. So these are very quick, random, like, oh, blow this ship up in the sector and move on. These are longer, bigger missions. Mostly what you're going to be looking for is components. So generally you want to head towards them because they'll give you either new weapons or things for your ship, or if you've already collected them, each component turns into a materia ingot. And materia ingots are used for upgrading the components you already have. So it's always worth heading towards the component loot opportunities. Whereas credits aren't used for anything at the moment. Artifacts, these are things that will help you in this specific run. And then materia, again, that will just help you in the run as well. But credits at the moment are worthless. They don't do anything. Like, if you have them, it's great for when they eventually put in the content, but right now they do nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this mission, and we're going to head towards the map relay point. There's your gunner seat. That's one of your sensor displays. And then you have the jump seats for if you have a third and a fourth player. So let's just head off to the next bit. We are going to quickly talk about controls. Because, as you can see, WSAD, WG forward, AD is side to side, S is backwards, but also Alt lets you look around, Control lowers your height, and Space raises your height. And let's just look at a rock so we actually get some. So as you can see, you can just go up and down if you need to. This will only be This will only be important for when you're trying to find landing bays. And of course, shift is your boost. You don't actually need to fly towards it. I'm just giving you an example. So we're going to jump to the next sector. As I said, this is just stuff I would have liked to have known before I started playing. Because a lot of this I had to just randomly stumble upon myself. And I'm not going to do, oh, tip number 1, tip number 2. No, this is just helpful information. Generally what I do when I first start, oh, it's an asteroid storm. That's okay. Good example. This is one of the scarier missions when you first start. So the first thing you want to do when you enter a mission is you want to scan everything. So as you can see here, there's a cache there and a buoy there. I need to head to these 3 spots to gather sensory data so that I can leave this hellhole. Now, as you can see, meteors, no matter what I do, if I try and boost or twist and turn, you can actually see the meteors just come straight towards me. They don't know if this is a bug at the moment, but rolling, pitching, doing all that stuff doesn't seem to actually shake them off at the moment, whereas it's supposed to. But what you can do during a meteor storm is shelter. Yeah. As you can see, that I wrecked my shields just fiddling about in space. I did that on purpose just to show you what the meteors were like. But this is when you come down to your assembler. Build a ship unit. Shield unit, sorry, not a ship unit, Jesus. And on the catamaran,
Shield unit installed.
you just plug it into each of the four corners.
Installed. Shield unit installed.
As I didn't fully break them, I don't need to use all 4 charges, so we'll send that back down to the cargo bay. And we'll go grab my gun that I left down there so I don't lose it. Right, so what we need to do is we need to get to those sensory areas. So, okay, so there's one over there. It's also next to mines. What we can do is we can shoot the mines, or we can allow them to attach to the ship, take a small amount of damage, and go out onto the outside of the ship and destroy them manually.
Calibrating.
So let's just blow 2 of them up, and we'll let this one attach, just to show you.
Attached mines detected. That's one down, but we still need additional data.
There you go, it's attached to the ship. You don't need to panic. You just go out on the wings and just shoot it off. You take a small amount of damage, but it's not, you know, irreversible damage. So there's one done. Where the hell are the... Oh, there's the other one. I have actually contacted the devs about this, and they did say, yeah, you are supposed to be able to avoid a lot of the meteors, but they seem to just
Calibrating.
track into you, which is not what they're meant to be doing.
That's one down, but we still need additional data.
And there's the other one. It's through that wall, annoyingly. Let's go out through the bottom. So mostly just look for cover when you're doing this. Cover is your best friend. But there is also loot in this area, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and get the loot.
Calibrated and we can get out of here.
So we'll try and nip and grab some cover. Of course, another massive meteor hits us as we're going through. It's just over there, 1.3 kilometers. So we could get closer, or
I'm with you to the bitter
we
end,
can
Steve.
ejection shoot ourselves out and fly over. Now, during meteor storms, they can hit you as well, so do be careful. But as long as you have materia, Buddy can just resurrect you. And of course, with Buddy,
I'll fetch that for you.
you can just send everything back to your cargo.
No problem at
But
all.
if you're doing this multiplayer, you will have to carry all of this back, so make sure you've got free space on you.
I can carry that to the ship.
What else have we got in here? Oh, we've got some artifacts, lovely.
Absolutely.
And then we just Johnny Rocket Boots back to the ship. Once we get close enough, we can just hookshot ourselves back onto it. Now, artifacts. These will disappear between jumps. So before you jump, make sure you install them. So what we're going to do, we're going to put one of these in, and then we're going to use the other one. So we'll put this one in, and then we're going to use the other one to upgrade it. So there you go, you can see it's gone up to level 2. But do be careful, if you forget and jump, they will disappear unless you've found an artifact that stops that from happening. But in general, they will vanish. There you go. That's some easy to digest early tips and tricks for the game. Generally, just get your confidence. Try not to panic too much when things start happening. you know, panicking is death in this game. So stay calm. It's all fine. If this has been helpful, please do like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. It really does help out the channel. And I shall see you all for the next one. So until then, take it easy, and we'll see you later.